Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. When Hallmark announced the third installment of the Haul Out the Holly series, retitled Haul Out the Halloween, it was clear that fans would once again be swept into a new seasonal chapter. But behind the scenes, one of the most heartwarming stories to emerge was not about decorations or spookiness. It was about family, compassion, and the way a cast embraced one of its own during a moment of vulnerability and joy. Eliza Maher, a newer addition to the Hallmark family, arrived on set with more than just her lines and wardrobe. She brought her newborn son, Sully, into a working environment that many would assume might be difficult to navigate as a new mom. What she found instead was a chorus of support, devotion, and what many called a set family. When filming for Haul Out the Halloween was scheduled to begin, Eliza faced a choice that many new mothers dread: to delay returning to work or to bring her baby along. She'd welcomed Sully less than 3 months before, and maternity leave is rarely so short. But for her, there was no other path she would have walked. The cast and crew had become a family since the first Haul Out the Holly film, and she felt an intense pull to return. She joked later that it must have been insane to cut her leave so drastically, but that's just how strongly she felt about working with that group again. From the moment she stepped back into production life, the embrace was immediate. As a supporting cast member playing Jess, Emily's sister in the film's fictional Evergreen Lane, Eliza expected there would be downtime, opportunities to care for her little one between takes. But what surprised her was the depth of community that formed. Between Ellen Travolta, Melissa Peterman, and Lacey Chabert, there were hands always ready to help. She called them honorary aunties to Sully, remarking that the motherly energy on set was constant and generous. On one occasion, Melissa Peterman posted a video of her, Chabert, and Ellen swooning over Sully, with Peterman introducing him humorously to Chabert as an American sweetheart and to Travolta as an American treasure. It wasn't just performative, it was real affection in motion. Eliza's comfort was bolstered by more than just the cast. The director, Maher Nelson, is a dear friend of hers, and she credited his kindness and understanding during that period. Her mother even flew in to assist for a week. But beyond that, there was a set nanny in the form of the sound technician's wife, who delighted in caring for Sully all day and meeting him between takes. In Eliza's words, "That neighborhood we shoot in is so kind and welcoming. There was always a space for me to nurse him in between takes." She acknowledged it was chaotic, but she felt supported and surrounded by friends, a blessing she didn't take lightly. What's remarkable is how naturally this support knit itself together. On many film sets, the presence of an infant can become a logistical challenge: noise, feeding schedules, privacy concerns. But here, the cast and crew turned obstacles into solutions. They embraced flexible scheduling, created nursing spaces, and built a rhythm that accommodated both creative demands and maternal needs. In interviews, Eliza said that no other project would have drawn her so strongly to return so early, but it was precisely because of the trust she had in that cast and crew as a small family that she made the leap. Eliza's willingness to bring Sully along didn't stop with Haul Out the Halloween. After a smooth, supported shoot, she agreed to continue that practice in her next Hallmark project, Grand Ole Opry Christmas, shooting across Nashville and Kansas City later in the year. She spoke candidly about how her son had already become accustomed to travel, lights, new faces, planes, sets, introductions, all at a tender age. She remarked that he'd been on 7 planes by 7 months and was becoming more flexible and comfortable meeting new people. Her faith in the people she chose to work with carried through from one film to the next. The same compassion that allowed her to navigate motherhood on set in Haul Out the Halloween carried over to new productions. Let's pause and reflect. These moments weren't staged or PR crafted. They sprang from mutual respect and care. The cast didn't simply tolerate her baby's presence. They celebrated it. They spoke over social media with delight, shared photos behind the scenes, and revealed genuine affection for Sully. On the premiere morning, Eliza reposted behind-the-scenes shots of her son with cast and crew, underscoring how present he'd been throughout. Patricia Peterman's video, Chabert's posts, and Travolta's involvement all showed how central that sweet little presence became to the set's atmosphere. The dynamic between Eliza and her co-stars was more than maternal support. It was relational. In that small corner of Utah where Haul Out the Halloween was filmed, the cast members interwove their personal lives with their professional ones. Eliza felt that she could be vulnerable, messy, human, and still meet her obligations as an actor, because she knew she would not be judged, but helped. The trust allowed creative focus to stay intact. She did not have to compartmentalize motherhood from performance. They coexisted. When asked what she might have done differently, Eliza conceded there were moments of fatigue, insecurity, fear. Who wouldn't have those during such early motherhood? But the overriding memory is one of gratitude. The presence of Sully became, in effect, a bridge between scenes, between people, between mother and artist. It humanized her on set, and it revealed the heart behind Halloween itself became a kind of symbolic homecoming. Playing Jess, Eliza returned to a franchise that had become dear to many viewers, introducing her real life into the fictional world. She didn't just act among decorations and seasonal conflicts. She carried life, her baby, through spooky strands of rapping and neighborhood rivalry. The narrative outside mirrored her own balance between life's demands and creative passion. More than that, the film's production location became a vessel for intimacy and kindness. The movie was filmed in Utah in neighborhoods like Sandy, Cottonwood Heights, and Salt Lake City. Because some of the same houses used in earlier Haul Out Holly films were repurposed, there was familiarity. The homeowners themselves knew the crew from previous seasons and welcomed them. That sense of a community extending beyond the set echoed in the way Eliza described having places to nurse, quiet zones, and neighbors who welcomed them. That alignment of production and locality fostered a safety net of real-world kindness, not just on-film fantasy. Think for a moment how rare this is. In many film and television productions, infants are handled through body doubles, strict offset arrangements, or minimal on-set presence. The liability, the logistics, the secrecy, all these barriers tend to isolate new mothers. Here, however, the cast and crew leaned toward inclusion. They didn't just permit it, they embraced it. The way Eliza described receiving help, having multiple hands available, feeling held, it flips narrative expectations. It says that motherhood and artistry need not be at odds, but can be woven together with empathy. There's a powerful ripple effect here. For audiences who see women return to work after childbirth, for mothers wanting to create and produce, for industries still grappling with inclusivity. Eliza's experience on Haul Out the Halloween becomes a case study in what's possible when collaboration, respect, and human awareness enter the production equation. She doesn't just owe her success to her own resilience. She owes it to the network, the director, the cast, and crew who made space for her. Later, when the film premiered on October 11, 2025, that story of motherhood, of small kindnesses, had already traveled ahead. Haul Out the Halloween delivered its narrative about holiday rivalry and neighborly spookiness. But behind the scenes, the real story was one of love, support, and the way a newborn could transform a set from workplace to cocoon. Since then, Eliza's path has continued to reflect that collaborative spirit. Her next films carried forward the arrangement of the baby in tow. She has acknowledged that being able to merge roles, mother and actor, has felt like a gift. And as Hallmark moves deeper into its holiday seasons, audiences may never see how life coalesced behind the camera. But they will hear it in performances, in warmth, in small, human moments. When we watch that film or imagine being on that set, let's remember that the magic didn't all come from lights or scripts. It came from people opening hearts, letting down walls, and lifting one another. Eliza Maher and her newborn son were not just guests on set. They became part of the creative ecosystem. And that ecosystem showed us that when we care for people, art becomes more humane. So next time you see a film where motherhood intersects with performance, think of Sully in Utah, of hands reaching out behind cameras, of women holding infants in wingside corners, of directors whispering, "Take your time." Haul Out the Halloween didn't just tell a Halloween story, it told a story of love and community that happened behind every take. That's the story I hope lingers with you. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.